Would you dare to discover the truth about the one soul capable of holding your fire without ever trying to extinguish it? This is the question that calls the listener forward, the same question that thousands have carried in silence yet never dared to speak aloud. Because deep inside every heart touched by the sign of the lion lives a sacred longing, a pulse of destiny, a call for a love that is not ordinary but divine in its essence and transformative in its purpose. And tonight, we open that door. There are journeys that begin with a map, and there are journeys that begin with a spark. This one begins with a spark, a moment of recognition, a soft but powerful whisper that says you are not here by coincidence. Something within you is awakening, something ancient and luminous, something that knows you deserve a connection that does not dim you but ignites you even more. So if you have ever wondered why your heart beats louder when love feels destined, if you have ever sensed that your soul carries memories from places your feet have never walked, stay with me, because what you will hear today has the power to shift the way you see yourself, the way you attract love, and the way you rise. Right now, you are standing at the threshold of a transformative revelation, a doorway into the spiritual architecture of Leo energy, the field of passion and purpose and radiant self-expression that shapes the romantic destiny of this sign. What you are about to receive is not simply information, it is initiation. It is insight that speaks to your higher self, not just your mind. Insight that pours into the spaces you have kept guarded, the places where longing meets courage. If your spirit feels ready, take one deep breath and allow the light to gather. This is the beginning of a journey that calls for your presence, your intuition, and your willingness to shine without fear. Because here is the truth that many sense but few dare to embody. The soulmate of a Leo is not chosen by chance. The soulmate of a Leo is chosen by frequency, a rare frequency, a frequency that recognizes the difference between ego and essence, between drama and destiny, between temporary promises and soul-anchored devotion. And as we move deeper into this exploration, you will begin to understand not only who can handle the heat of Leo energy, but why that heat exists, why it has always been part of your spiritual signature, and why it attracts partners who are not merely companions, but catalysts for evolution. You may feel emotions rising already, a pull, a memory that does not belong to this lifetime alone. That is the sign that you are aligned with the message meant for you. Because nothing within this field is random. Every flame within you responds to truth when it hears it. Every heartbeat answers to ancient recognition. And through this journey, you will uncover layers that reveal not just the soulmate that destiny prepares for a Leo soul, but the deeper truth of what it means to love like the sun loves, with courage and devotion and a power that illuminates everything it touches. Before we continue, take a moment to place yourself fully into this experience. Let the words settle into the places that often go unseen. Let your intuition speak louder than thought. Let your spirit relax into the knowing that you are safe, guided, and exactly where you are meant to be. And when you are ready, leave a comment below with this affirmation that seals your energy for the journey ahead. I allow my light to rise with purpose. There is something extraordinary that happens when we begin to speak about Leo energy. It is almost as if a door opens in the invisible world, a door made of courage and fire and ancient memory. When I say the word Leo, I am not simply talking about a zodiac sign. I am speaking about a spiritual frequency, a tone, a sacred signature that carries the echo of the sun itself. And if you have ever loved a Leo or been one, you know this truth without needing to read a single book. You can feel it pulsing beneath every choice, every passion, every heartbreak, and every triumph. To understand who the Leo soulmate is, we must first understand the interior world of the Leo heart. Picture the sun, not as a star in the sky, but as a living presence that burns from the inside outward. That is what moves through a Leo soul. This is a spirit that loves with intensity, that gives with devotion, that speaks with conviction even when the voice trembles. You might see confidence on the surface, But beneath that confidence exists a sensitive and intuitive being who feels deeply and fiercely. This duality is what makes the Leo heart both powerful and vulnerable. People often describe Leo energy as dramatic, but this is not drama for entertainment. This is drama born from passion. This is a spirit that refuses to live halfway. A spirit that wants love to feel divine, and purpose to feel meaningful, and connection to feel alive. A Leo invests soul first and logic second. That is why betrayal cuts so deeply, why indifference feels like a wound, and why appreciation feels like nourishment. The Leo heart is nourished by genuine acknowledgement, not empty praise, not shallow compliments, but real presence, real recognition, real devotion. Here is what many do not realize. The Leo soul carries a sacred wound that often forms in childhood or in past life memory, a wound connected to invisibility, a moment when their inner sun felt eclipsed, and from that moment on, their spirit learned to shine even louder, not for vanity, not for applause, but for survival of the spirit, for the preservation of identity, for the claiming of their place in the world. This is why the Leo soulmate must be someone who sees them clearly, someone who does not shrink from their light and does not worship them either, but instead meets them with steadiness and truth. When Leo loves, they do not offer fragments. They offer the entire kingdom of their heart. They stand at the gates with loyalty in one hand and passion in the other. They love as if they have been chosen by fate, and they hope to be loved with the same reverence. To be loved by a Leo is to be held in a fire that warms you and challenges you and heals you all at once. This is why not everyone is prepared for this connection. Some people fear the intensity. Some people shrink from the light. Some people want the warmth, but not the responsibility of holding it with care. The soulmate of a Leo is the one who understands that the fire is not a threat. The fire is the gift. The fire is the magic. The fire is the truth of who they are. And in return, Leo offers protection, creativity, affection, and unwavering loyalty that does not fade with time. Their love becomes a force of nature, not something routine or predictable, but something that evolves and inspires and pushes both souls toward a higher version of themselves. There is no ordinary love for Leo, only destined love, only awakened love, only love that feels like stepping into sunlight after a long and uncertain winter. And once you understand this essence, you begin to understand why only certain souls can walk beside Leo without being overwhelmed or intimidated. You begin to understand that Leo does not seek validation, they seek resonance. They do not seek attention, they seek recognition. They do not seek perfection, they seek presence. Now that we have touched the spiritual core of Leo energy, let us move into the 3 soulmate archetypes that appear again and again across lifetimes. These are not simple categories, these are soul contracts, agreements written in the unseen world long before 2 people meet in the physical realm. And each archetype brings a different lesson, a different blessing, and a different form of destiny. The first archetype is known as the mirror of fire, sometimes called the equal flame. This is the soulmate who carries passion in their bones and courage in their breath. This is the partner who does not fear Leo's intensity because they carry their own. This bond is magnetic from the first moment. It is fast, powerful, passionate, and uncontrollable in the most beautiful way. This is the person who inspires Leo to dream bigger, risk more boldly, and step into a version of themselves they only imagined in silence. There is laughter, adventure, attraction, and a spiritual familiarity that feels ancient. But there is also the need for emotional maturity, because 2 fires can create a rising sun or a forest consumed by flame. The second archetype is the water-bearer of the heart, sometimes called the spiritual stabilizer. This soulmate arrives not with force, but with calm. They bring clarity the way a soft and steady breeze cools a room that has grown too warm. They do not compete with Leo's presence, they balance it. They offer conversation that awakens new ideas, affection that soothes old wounds, and emotional safety that allows the Leo spirit to rest. This is the soulmate who teaches Leo that connection can be peaceful without being dull, and spiritual without losing passion. This bond feels like breathing after running for too long. The third and final archetype is the karmic guardian, the soul remembered long before this lifetime began. This connection is intense, sometimes overwhelming, always profound. There is depth in the eyes, a sense of recognition that cannot be explained with logic, and a pull that Leo feels not just in the heart but in the spirit. This soulmate brings transformation. They reveal the shadow. They awaken courage. They inspire healing that Leo did not even know they needed. These relationships are not always easy, but they are always meaningful. They shape destiny. They refine purpose. They prepare the heart for a love that is not just passionate, but awakened. Each archetype touches a different part of the Leo soul. One ignites, one balances, one transforms. And through these connections, Leo becomes more of who they were always meant to be, stepping fully into their radiance with clarity and courage that only destiny can create. Now that we have uncovered the core of the Leo soul and the three soulmate archetypes that echo through their journey, let us step into the detailed landscape of zodiac connections. This exploration is not just about surface attraction, it is about spiritual chemistry, emotional resonance, and the unseen bonds that form between two energies. As we move through each sign, imagine you are walking through a gallery of destinies, each one offering a different reflection of how Leo love unfolds. Let us begin with Aries. Imagine two flames meeting in the same room. The temperature rises immediately. Aries feels like a challenge and an invitation at the exact same moment. Leo sees the bravery, the drive, the raw honesty that Aries carries, and something inside them wakes up with excitement. This relationship is fueled by passion, adventure, and the courage to leap into the unknown. There is nothing timid here, but the beauty of this connection lies in the mutual respect that grows between them. Aries does not try to dim Leo, and Leo does not try to control Aries. When these two learn emotional patience, they become a partnership that inspires everyone around them. Then there is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is often the one who arrives like a bright wind that sweeps through Leo's world and reminds them that life is bigger, wider, richer than they sometimes allow themselves to believe. Sagittarius brings optimism, humor, and a spiritual curiosity that blends perfectly with Leo's sense of purpose. This is the kind of bond that feels both freeing and grounding at the same time. They challenge each other to grow without ever losing the joy of simply being together. When Leo and Sagittarius meet, the universe seems to whisper that there is more to explore, more to learn, and more to become. Gemini steps into Leo's life like a delightful spark of intellect and playfulness. Gemini has a mind that never stops moving, never stops imagining, never stops discovering possibilities. Leo finds this mental energy captivating because it lights up a part of their spirit that thrives on inspiration. The two enjoy conversation that dances from deep subjects to light humor without warning. Leo feels seen in a way that stimulates creativity, and Gemini feels embraced in a way that gives their scattered thoughts a place to land. Their chemistry grows not from intensity, but from curiosity and shared wonder. Libra enters with elegance, balance, and emotional grace. Libra knows how to soothe the restless fire inside Leo without ever making them feel small. There is harmony here, a kind of soft alignment that allows both partners to shine at the same time. Libra admires Leo's courage, while Leo admires Libra's calm and beauty. Together they create a relationship that feels refined yet passionate, peaceful yet alive. They understand each other through subtle gestures and gentle truths, which often forms a connection that feels almost artistic in its symmetry. Aquarius brings something entirely different. Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo, and with that comes a destiny shaped by polarity. When Leo and Aquarius meet, there is immediate fascination. Aquarius carries a quiet rebellion, a brilliance, a perspective that challenges Leo's worldview in the most exhilarating way. Leo, in turn, gives Aquarius warmth, grounding, and emotional presence. This pairing is often described as electric because it moves the soul. They awaken each other. They expand each other. They stretch the relationship into realms of purpose and innovation. It is not always easy, but it is always meaningful. Taurus enters Leo's story with a steady presence that feels like earth meeting fire. Taurus does not rush. Taurus does not force. Taurus simply arrives with loyalty, sensuality, and a desire for something real. Leo is drawn to the calm determination of Taurus, and Taurus is drawn to the vibrant heart of Leo. Together, they build something slow and strong. The lesson here is patience, devotion, and the blending of passion with stability. When both choose growth over stubbornness, this connection becomes a love that stands the test of time. Scorpio is the mirror that reveals the depths Leo sometimes avoids. This connection is not light or casual. It is intense, magnetic, spiritual, and often karmic. When Leo meets Scorpio, there is an instant pull, as if their souls remember something that their minds cannot explain. Scorpio challenges Leo to confront hidden emotions, while Leo challenges Scorpio to trust the light again. They transform each other through honesty, passion, and vulnerability. This is one of the most powerful bonds Leo can experience because it burns away illusion and reveals the truth within both partners. Pisces approaches Leo with softness, empathy, and a spiritual depth that feels like stepping into a quiet ocean after a long day in the sun. Pisces understands emotion in a way that feels intuitive and healing. They help Leo open their heart in new ways, not through intensity, but through compassion. Leo gives Pisces structure and confidence, while Pisces teaches Leo how to surrender and trust. Their connection thrives when both partners learn to balance boundaries with tenderness. Cancer brings nurturing, loyalty, and emotional dedication. Cancer sees the parts of Leo that many overlook, and Leo brings to Cancer a sense of confidence and safety. Together they form a home that is both emotional and spiritual. The challenge here is sensitivity, but the reward is deep understanding. When both learn to communicate with clarity, they build a relationship where devotion flows naturally. Capricorn offers Leo a sense of direction, purpose, and ambition. Capricorn is steady, grounded, and committed to building a future with structure and meaning. Leo admires Capricorn's discipline, and Capricorn admires Leo's passion. Together, they learn how to balance responsibility with pleasure. The bond strengthens when they respect each other's time, goals, and emotional languages. Virgo steps into the Leo dynamic with dedication, care, and quiet determination. Virgo has a way of supporting Leo that feels subtle, yet powerful. They notice details that others miss, and they offer guidance through gentle service and thoughtful action. Leo brings vibrancy and inspiration to Virgo, who sometimes forgets to celebrate themselves. This connection thrives when both partners stay open to learning from one another, merging heart with intention. When we explore the question of who can handle the full power of a Leo heart, we must look beyond simple attraction and into the deeper qualities that form spiritual partnership. These traits are rare, and they are precious. They are not found in every person, and that is exactly why Leo love does not resonate with everyone. A Leo soulmate is not chosen through convenience. They are chosen through alignment, through emotional strength, and through an inner frequency that harmonizes with the Sunday. When these qualities appear, they awaken something profound inside the Leo spirit. The first trait is emotional bravery. This is not loud courage. This is quiet, steady, genuine willingness to love without retreating the moment the connection deepens. Leo gives their heart with intensity, so they need someone who will not flinch when feelings rise to the surface. Someone who can sit with truth. Someone who can listen when it matters. Someone who understands that vulnerability is not weakness, but a profound invitation. When a partner carries emotional bravery, the Leo soul relaxes and opens in ways that transform the relationship into something alive and sacred. The second trait is admiration without losing oneself. Leo does not need a servant or a spectator. They need a partner who genuinely appreciates their spirit, their passion, and their heart, but who also stands firmly in their own identity. A true soulmate does not shrink in the presence of Leo's light. They stand beside it. They contribute their own brilliance. They offer balance. They offer depth. Leo thrives when they are met by someone who is not intimidated by their presence, but inspired by it. The third trait is consistent energy. Leo burns bright. They bring enthusiasm, loyalty, and commitment into their relationships. But they also need someone who shows up with steadiness, not only during the exciting moments but also during the quiet and uncertain ones. Consistency for Leo is a sign of devotion. It communicates safety. It communicates respect. It communicates spiritual maturity. Without consistency, Leo feels unanchored. With it, they flourish into their highest expression. The fourth trait is a strong sense of self. Leo cannot partner with someone who loses their identity within the relationship. They need someone who knows who they are, someone with goals, values, and inner purpose. This creates balance. It creates mutual respect. It creates partnership instead of dependence. When Leo is with someone who possesses a strong inner foundation, they feel free to shine without fear of overshadowing the other person. And simultaneously, they feel inspired to keep growing because their partner's strength becomes a mirror for their own. The fifth trait is the gift of heartfelt appreciation. This is not flattery or hollow praise. This is the ability to witness Leo's efforts, their emotions, their loyalty, and their sacrifices, and to acknowledge them with sincerity. Appreciation is nourishment for a Leo soul. It keeps the fire warm and steady. It reassures their heart that they are seen not just for their brightness, but for the tenderness behind that brightness. A soulmate who gives genuine appreciation becomes a sanctuary for Leo. And finally, the sixth trait is spiritual alignment. Leo love thrives when the connection grows beyond the physical and enters the realm of meaning and destiny. They need a partner who believes in purpose, in intuition, in the unseen world that moves beneath the surface of every moment. This spiritual alignment creates a shared language, a shared path, a shared understanding that the relationship is not simply an experience, but a journey of evolution. When Leo meets someone who carries this frequency, they feel the presence of destiny in the space between them. Now that we have moved through the landscape of Leo's emotional needs and the rare traits that define a true soulmate connection, we can approach the deeper revelation. This is where the heart listens more than the mind. This is where intuition speaks louder than logic. Because the question of who can handle the heat of a Leo soul is not answered through charts alone. It is answered through spiritual truth. It is answered through destiny. The true soulmate of a Leo is the one who sees their light and does not ask them to dim it. This is the partner who stands in the warmth without fear, without jealousy, without insecurity. This is the soul who recognizes that Leo radiance is not a competition or an inconvenience. It is a calling. It is a life force. It is an offering from the heart. And the soulmate meets this offering with reverence, not resistance. This partner may come from any sign. They may carry fire that matches Leo's passion. They may carry air that expands Leo's imagination. They may carry earth that stabilizes Leo's world. They may carry water that touches Leo's spirit in ways nothing else can. The sign is not the defining truth. What defines this soulmate is their energy, their devotion, their willingness to grow alongside Leo in both shadow and light. A true Leo soulmate is the one who witnesses the deeper layers beneath the confidence. They see the sensitivity. They see the longing for recognition. They see the courage it takes for Leo to love as boldly as they do. And instead of turning away, they step closer. They hold that heart with care. They honor the complexity. They celebrate the beauty. When Leo meets this soulmate, something within them awakens. The world feels brighter, purpose feels clearer, love feels possible in ways that defy logic. There is ease where there was once tension. There is trust where there was once hesitation. There is destiny where there was once doubt. This connection does not need to be explained. It simply exists. It simply unfolds. It simply resonates with the frequency of the soul. And the true revelation is this: Leo love is meant to be extraordinary. It is meant to be powerful. It is meant to be transformative. And the soulmate of a Leo is the one who understands that loving a Leo is not a task, but a journey into warmth, courage, devotion, and spiritual awakening. A journey where two hearts rise together, not in competition, but in harmony. A journey where both become more fully themselves through the presence of the other. Leo is the embodiment of light that does not apologize for shining. And yet, behind that radiance is a heart that yearns to be understood, a heart that longs for connection that is real and honest and spiritually aligned. The awakening arrives when Leo finally sees that their soulmate is not the person who merely admires the glow, but the one who honors the source of it. The one who understands that this brilliance comes from courage, from wounds healed, from battles faced, from dreams protected. The one who knows that the sun shines because it must, because it is its nature, because it was created for that very purpose. And as this awareness grows, something extraordinary happens within the Leo spirit. They begin to love themselves the way a soulmate should love them. They begin to value their own warmth, to guard their own tenderness, to celebrate their own gifts, and to refuse connections that cannot rise to meet them in truth. They stop searching for love that feels safe in the shadows and start choosing love that can stand in the light. Leo learns that their soulmate is not only someone who can handle the fire, but someone who cherishes it because they understand the rare and sacred nature of its origin. There is a powerful shift that takes place when Leo embraces this truth. The world feels different. The air feels lighter. The future feels wider. Love becomes less about chasing and more about allowing. It becomes an experience shaped by resonance rather than fear, by alignment rather than need, by divine timing rather than rushed expectation. The universe begins to move doors into place. Intuition becomes louder. Signs appear more easily. And the heart, which once guarded itself with fierce intensity, softens into faith that the right soul will arrive and stay, not because they must, but because they choose to. This final understanding is what transforms the Leo journey into something sacred. You see, the soulmate of a Leo is not there to complete them. A Leo is already whole. A Leo is already luminous. A Leo already carries a kingdom within. The soulmate is the one who walks beside that kingdom without fear. The soulmate is the one who enters that light and says, "I do not want to dim you. I want to rise with you." The connection becomes a shared ascension, a shared devotion, a shared experience of becoming more than either soul could ever become alone. And this is where the true impact lies. When Leo stands in their authentic fire, the world changes. The people they touch feel braver. The relationships they build feel deeper. The dreams they pursue feel possible. Their light becomes a source of transformation, and the soulmate who steps into that light becomes part of that transformation, not by taking from it, but by expanding it. Not by controlling it, but by honoring it. Not by worshiping it, but by understanding it. So let this be the final resonance in your spirit. You are meant for a love that is extraordinary. You are meant for a bond that elevates, that awakens, that moves your soul forward. You are meant for connection that ignites your fire without consuming your peace. You are meant for a soulmate who arrives with courage, with presence, with devotion, and with a heart that recognizes the royalty in your spirit. You were not created for ordinary love. You were created for love that feels like destiny remembering itself. As this journey draws to a close, breathe deeply and allow this truth to settle. You carry a sun within you, You are allowed to shine. You are allowed to love with intensity. You are allowed to wait for the person who can meet your light without fear. Because they exist. They are walking their own path toward you at this very moment. And when the two of you find one another, the universe will shift, the air will change, and something ancient will awaken inside your heart. Thank you for walking this path today, for exploring the depth of Leo love, and for opening your spirit to a higher understanding of your own destiny. If this message expanded your heart, strengthened your faith, or illuminated something within you, then allow yourself to continue the journey. There are more truths waiting for you, more insights designed to guide your path, and more stories that will help your spirit rise into its fullest expression. Make sure you explore the other videos on this channel. They will guide you into deeper wisdom, greater clarity, and the spiritual empowerment your soul is ready for.